Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I am to start with new lecture that is on thin layer chromatography. Usually it is known as TLC. These techniques in fact help us to identify the presence of number of compounds in a given mixture. We can check the purity of any given sample. Any solid or a liquid sample can be tested using TLC, whether how many components are present in that given mixture. It has got very many applications in pharmaceutical industry, in food industry, and even in the daily day routine lab works. It has got a lot much practical importance, practical applications. So I will explain with the basic principle how it has emerged as a leading technique, as a basic tool for identification of different number of components, compounds in a given mixture. So let me start with the simple introductory part. It's a thin layer chromatography. We write it as TLC. Why we use it? We use it to identify the components in a given mixture Yes, it's a chemical mixture of different compounds, or to check the purity level of a compound sample. Let's say in your laboratory you have received a new bottle of a compound. Let's say you have received a bottle of phenol. You want to check whether it's a pure or it carries certain amount of other fractions. So you can simply check by taking a TLC. It could test it. The test could tells you whether the given compound, let's phenol, is a pure or it carries some other fractions. Or simply we have mixed 2-3 different fractions and we ask you, please confirm how many components or fractions are present in this mixture. So then you can use that TLC in order to check the presence of the number of the compounds. Thirdly, and it's a mainly, you can check the progress of a reaction. That is the main purpose of my today's talk. We can apply TLC, a basic simple test, in order to check whether a chemical reaction has been completed or the reaction is in progress. The reactants have reacted together to give you a product. Whether you are receiving a single product or the reactants have reacted together and you are receiving more than the expected product, mean there is some sort of a byproduct is there. So this is how you can use TLC to identify the progress of the reaction, in fact. So this is the main purpose of this today's lecture. Before dealing or before explaining the use of the TLC in the monitoring of the reactions. What sort of the reaction? Any sort of reaction. Simple chemical transformation. Let's say you are doing any simple reactions on benzenes. You want to check whether the acylation of benzene has happened or not. That simply could be checked by using TLC. Similarly, in advanced reaction synthesis, you are synthesizing certain drug molecule, or you are synthesizing any complex reacting different reactants together. So simply the TLC could be applied in a minute or so. It could give you result, giving you a clue how the reaction is proceeding. Either it's a very fast, it's a slow, reactants has been consumed, or it is being reacted, how much product has been formed, how much time approximately it can take more to go to its completion. Why TLC? It is called TLC. It's a thin layer chromatography. In fact, this chromatography is supposed to depend on two things. One is called stationary phase. It's a stationary phase. The second important thing is supposed to be a mobile phase. What's a stationary phase? It's a phase over which the reactants, the molecule has to move for their separation from each other. Even before explaining these two things, I would give you an idea about the principle of the thin layer chromatography. It separates different components based on their polarity. Based on the polarity. Polarity of the molecule, that is the main criteria which is applied on the molecule for their movement on the stationary phase. As per their polarity differences, they move on a different pace on stationary phase, and different fractions do appear in the form of different spots distinctive from each other at a distinctive or a specific distance. So this is how we can identify if the compound shows only a single spot on the TLC. In fact, then the given sample is supposed to be the pure one, mean it because it is showing a single spot. If you feel there is another spot, one or two minor spots are there, relatively smaller in size, faded ones, it means in addition to the main reactant, main molecule, there are other hues are also present in the sample, which will confirm the given sample is not pure. It carries some impurities as well, which are being appear in the form of different spots on the TLC. So this is how on the TLC, thin layer chromatography, on stationary phase, the molecules, different components of a samples do separate from each other on the basis of their polarity. If a molecule is more polar, it is supposed to be on the base of the plate, TLC plate. I will show you later. If the molecule is supposed to be a non-polar, it will move faster. It will move faster on the plate, and the spot will appear a bit higher on the TLC plate compared to the one which is a polar one. Why polars move slow? Why they are supposed to be less like closer to the bottom, and why the non-polar molecules are supposed to move faster and they move beyond the baseline. They are supposed to be very close to the last lane, So why it appears so? This is I'm going to explain in my further talk. Stationary phase. For a thin layer chromatography, we need to have plates. The plates are supposed to be just like very thin, aluminium foils. I can give you the idea, like we use a very thin protector on the screen of the mobile. This is very skin protective layer. The thin layer is supposed to be just like those very thin aluminium foils, and over those aluminium foils silica gel is coated. Silica is coated to make a TLC plate. The TLC plates are supposed to be thin layer of silica coated on aluminium foil. They are supposed to be just like scale sheets, and we cut those into pieces, into smaller pieces as per our own requirement. We cut into smaller pieces. Generally the piece is supposed to be like 4 centimeter. From here to here we generally cut like 4 centimeter. Plate size is supposed to be 4 centimeter, and to this side it can vary. You can use 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter as per the number of the spots that we are supposed to deposit on the TLC plate. Depending upon the number of the samples, number of the spots we supposed to deposit, we can change the width of the plate, So this is how it is supposed to look like. Before that, I'm just coming back to the stationary phase. As I've told you earlier, the aluminium foil is supposed to be just like the protective layer on mobile screens. Those sheets upper surface are coated with silica. How they look like? They're supposed to be like, if we look into the chemistry, they're supposed to be something like, the upper layer is supposed to be covered with hydroxyls, So many hydroxyls are present on the upper layer, on the upper side. Let's say this is a mobile, this is a pretty thin aluminium foil. Its upper surface is coated with silica, and those hydroxyls are supposed to be just my fingers. They are just pointed upwards. On everywhere on the silica coated plate. They are supposed to be there. So these silicas, hydroxyl groups of the silica are pointed upwards. They are present around here. They are just like pointed over here on the surface of the aluminium foil. As these hydroxyl groups are polar in nature, they are present on this surface, pointed up. So many are present. So when we deposit some samples on the base of the silica plate, we take, let's say, sample is present in some sort of a flask, some reaction mixture is there. We used to put in a capillary tube, get some mixture out of it, and then we deposit it on the silica, on this TLC sheet. We let it dry for a few minutes, After a while, we took this plate and we put this into a beaker, into a glass beaker. This glass beaker carries mobile phase, means it carries some sort of solvent. The mobile phase is supposed to be some sort of a solvent. Generally, they are supposed to be non-polar solvents. Why they are supposed to be non-polars? Because the stationary phase is already polar due to the presence of due to the presence of these hydroxyl group on the surface. As I've explained to you, the surface of the plate is supposed to be coated with silica, and the silica's hydroxyls are pointed upwards from the sheet to upwards. When the molecules move up, those molecules are supposed to get in contact with hydroxyls. There could be a development of hydrogen bondings, there could be a development of van der Waals forces, there could be some sort of interaction between this molecules which have deposited on the lower base of the TLC plate. After a while, when we have put this one down, we need to cover the beaker from the upper side, so there should be no air interaction, no involvement of the air. Then the solvent which is in the container in the beaker, it will start moving on the surface of plate. This will pass through the silica. This molecule will start moving, upward. This will start moving. As it is moving up, I've told you the hydroxyls are everywhere. Those hydroxyls will create hindrance for their movement. The hydroxyls are supposed to be polars. If this molecule which is placed on the base of the TL, if it is also a polar, also carry some polar group, they will have some sort of interaction with each other, so there will be hindrance in the movement. The polar molecules will not move that high, they will not move with that speed, because they are facing some sort of a retention. So they will move this solvent which is present in the beaker, it will move. You should let it move till it reaches the up lane, the lane you have marked on the upper surface of the TLC. Once the solvent has moved to this surface, we need to take this thin layer chromatography piece of the sheet out and let it dry. Sometimes these molecules, when they move up, they appear in the form of colors. Let's say it has moved from here to here. A single spot is visible. Then what we can deduce from it? We can deduce, as the solvent has moved through the plate, the molecules present in the sample has moved up, but it has shown only a single spot over there. It means this given compound which was present in flask, it carries only one type of molecules. It's pure sample, it does not carry any other fraction. Secondly, we can assume that as the spot hasn't moved up a lot, it has moved just a bit, it means the given compound is some sort of a polar one, because it has been restricted, it has been retained, it has been slowed down by the presence of the hydroxyl group on the surface of the TLC. So we will deduce it's a pure compound. Secondly, it's a sort of a polar compound. Two results can be deduced from here. What sort of the compound is it? It's an alcohol. It's a sort of a carboxylic acid. It's a sort of an amine. Just with simple TLC, you can't predict the structure. You can't say that it's a phenol. You can't say that it's an amine. You can't say it's a carboxylic acid just by running single TLC only. However, If the buddy in the lab has given me a sample and told me that, gentlemen, it's a carboxylic acid, find out its purity, whether it's a pure or it's an unpure. Again, now I've got the idea the given compound is a carboxylic acid. I can assume it carries a sort of a polarity in it. Okay, so then I can assume that the gentleman has said so it is also a single compound. So let me check whether it's a pure or not pure. So I will place a spot on the base of the TLC plate, and I will take some non-polar solvent. Non-polar solvent means I can try hexane. There's a sort of you need to actually use solvent systems where two solvents are of different polarities are mixed together for running of the TLCs. But at the moment, I'm just trying to convey the basic principle, basic lines about the TLC. I would say just a non-polar solvent like hexane has been used. So as the hexane will move up, the compound which we have taken from the flask or a glass beaker, the sample was deposited here, it will start moving. Apparently, sometimes some colorants we can see moving on the TLC as the solvent will move. Sometimes your given compound, apparently they are colorless and you can't see those by just a naked eye. When we run the TLC, on the TLC, such compounds do not appear in the form of any colorants. We just see the movement of the solvents. When the solvent reaches at this level, we take out the TLC plate and let it dry for a while, and then we need to use some visualizing agents. What they are, I will explain it later. We need to use visualizing agents. Those agents help us to see the presence of the spot. Again, if a single spot appears and closer to the bottom, then I can assume that yes, the given compound is a some sort of a pure one. Secondly, if the spot hasn't moved up, it is closer to the base, then it will come into my mind the given compound is some sort of a polar. So I can assume that yes, this is some sort of the gentleman told me it's a carboxylic acid. Let's say it could be benzoic acid, carboxylic acid. So I can say that this is the given compound is in pure form. It's some sort of like this. However, if there appear two or three spots different from each other, there's a bit difference in their position from the base, then it means the given compound, the given mixture is not a single, is not a pure one, it carries more than one component in it. Then it simply come into my mind that the given sample was not pure, it's not a pure, it carries something. However, as the components are closer to the base, I will assume that the other fractions are also some sort of the polar ones. I can conclude two results from the TLC that the given components, the given sample contains more than one components, as well as those components are polar in nature. On the other hand, if the TLC has been run, and after the running of the TLC, we see a spot a bit higher on the TLC, then obviously it will come into my mind that it can't be a polar compound, because polar compounds are supposed to get hindered by the pass of the hydroxyls, and polars won't move that high on TLC. If I find a spot a bit high on TLC, higher than its middle area, higher than its half area, then I can assume that the given compound is some sort of non-polar. If the guy has asked me or told me in the lab that please check whether this compound is some sort of it's a carboxylic acid or not. After looking at this spot, one can assume that it can't be carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acids are supposed to be polars, and the polars are supposed to be on the base under the condition which I'm discussing with you. If the spot is very high, you can simply say no, it can't be. It's some sort of a non-polar. It is something else, you know. So this is how you can simply say whether the given compound, given sample, given mixture carries only one component or more than one component, or the given sample carries one component and that component is polar if the spot is closer to the base, or the given mixture carries one component if the spot is 1 and that spot is a bit higher on the TLC, then that is supposed to be the given compound is pure but non-polar. If we see more than one spot, again bit higher on the TLC, again we will conclude that it carries more than one fraction. Let's say 1, 2, 3 spots mean 3 fractions are there, and all of them are supposed to be a sort of non-polar with relative less and high polarity with polarity differences, you know. However, once we take sample from a mixture in the flask and we deposited it on the base, let it dry for a while, and then we run in the solvent system. This spot moves with the solvent. When the solvent reaches to the upper lane, we take the TLC out, let it dry, and if we use visualizing agent to see the presence of the separation of the component, separation of the spots. Let's say we have a different spots here. After the running, let's say we have this sort of the spots. Then one can assume that the given mixture, given sample carries two components. One is the polar one, mean which is on the base, and the one which has moved a bit high, it is supposed to be non-polar. Why it is non-polar? Because it has moved with the non-polar hexane. Non-polar likes dissolves likes. Non-polar solvent moves up, it takes non-polar molecules in it and moves a bit high. The polar ones are retained by the hydroxyls of the silica. They are hindered, their movement is hindered by the hydroxyl groups which are supposed to be the present on the surface of the TLC. They produce hindrance, the resistance to the movement of the polar molecules. So if the spot which is closer to the base, they are supposed to be the polars. The spots which are a bit higher on the TLC plate, they are supposed to be the non-polar ones. So this is how simply TLC, mean thin layer chromatography, could help you to identify the nature of the component, nature of the sample, whether it's a polar or non-polar. If it's a polar, it is supposed to be the spot is supposed to be closer to the base. If it's a non-polar, the spot is supposed to be a bit higher on the TLC. Secondly, it could tell us about the purity of the components, purity of the reaction mixture, purity of the simply any newly purchased bottle. If we find only a single spot on TLC, it means the given sample is pure. If you find more than one spots, it means if two spots are there, two components are present, 3 spots are there and 3 components present. Let's say if 2 spots are there, means 2 component in the sample. Out of those 2 spots, the one which is closer to the base, that is supposed to be the polar. The one which is closer to the has moved beyond above the half of the plate, it is supposed to be non-polar. So polarity is the main factor that has been considered for the separation of the compounds in TLC, component of a mixture, component in a reaction mixture, component of a given sample. This is how one can assume about the polarity. This is the basic which I have explained to you about the thin layer chromatography. I have explained a bit earlier about its application. Especially we will apply those for the monitoring of reaction mixtures. Let's say we are reacting reactant A and reactant B and we are producing C. These two react with each other to produce C. How much time they do require for their reactions? We can find out roughly the time required for the reaction using TLC plates, The presence of mixed reactant A, the presence of reactant B will confirm the reactants are present. The appearance of the spot number 3 will represents the formation of the product. As soon as the spots of the reactants will disappear on the TLC, it means the reactants has been consumed. Once they have been consumed, their spots on the TLC will disappear. However, this new spot, which is not the spot of the A or B, it will represent the formation of C, mean the formation of the product. How it is checked, how one can confirm whether the reaction has been completed, reactants are still there, the reaction is in progress, I will explain in next lecture, inshallah. So TLC can be used for the monitoring of the progress of the reactions, Those reactions simply be the reaction between the two reactants for the production or the synthesis of any other molecule, are very precisely, as at the moment I'm dealing with the dye synthesis as well, synthesis of dye in lab, especially the formation of synthesis of azo dyes. It could also be assessed with the applications of the TLC. So TLC is very handy technique, very simple technique available in labs that could be applied for the identification of the different compounds, whether you want to check their purity or you want to check the reaction of a mixture. Reaction of a mixture, monitoring of progress of reaction also actually means whether your flask carries 1 component, 2 components, 3 components. This will help us to monitor the progress of the reaction, and it will be the subject of my next talk to you. Today I'm just trying to convey what is TLC. Let me give you a recapitulate again. Thin layer chromatography, it separates, it identifies the compounds on the basis of polarity. Polar molecules do not move faster on TLC plates, while polar molecules are supposed to move faster on TLC plates, non-polar molecules in fact. Why? Because in thin layer chromatography, the silica is deposited on aluminum foils. That silica contains hydroxyl groups on its surface, and they are supposed to be polars. So they produce resistance, hindrance for the movement of the polar molecules. So the polar molecules are supposed to be slow moving and they remain closer to the baseline. However, the non-polars, they move a bit higher on the plate, and because they do not feel any resistance from the polar molecules. So polarity is the main factor, is the basic behind the separation of the components of a mixture on TLC. Single molecule is present or more than one molecule is present, that can easily be detected by the TLC. So this is what I have explained to you in a basic, just to give you an overview about the basic principle, how the TLC is performed in the lab and why we need TLC. In my next lecture, I will try to give you a glimpse about the use of TLC for the monitoring of progress of reaction, whether we are doing a simple lab synthesis or we are doing some specific synthesis, like we are doing some synthesis of some textile dyes like azo dyes. So I will explain to you. If you have any problem or any question related to today's talk, today's lecture, please do come up with your questions. You can approach me through WhatsApp or email, or you can simply write your questions in comment area. I will be happy to give response at the earliest convenience. Thank you very much, please.